to your Daily 5 for Wednesday, February 21st, 2024. I recently got to do another Forgotten Movie Den episode with Len Kabasinski, and I wanted to do a short review. I'm not going to do a longer review. I'm actually going to put a link to Len's YouTube channel so you can see the longer review that we talked about for this movie, which is about 40 minutes long. So I'm just going to do a short 5-minute review, but not do a full Friday detail review because I want to direct traffic over to Len's channel. But we covered a movie that I've heard about, but I'd never actually gotten around to watching. And it is a film from 1983 that is either, you will most often see it titled as Thunder, but you also might find it under Thunder Warrior. But again, if you just do Thunder or Thunder Warrior from 1983, you will find the movie, which you can watch right now in its entirety, either on Tubi with ads or on YouTube with no ads. But I would say the Tubi version looks like it's a little bit better from what I've seen. And this is a movie starring Mark Gregory and Bo Svensson, and it is essentially a Italian ripoff of the Stallone film First Blood. Now, when you hear that, you think, oh, okay, well, Italian ripoff films, I know what I'm going to get here then. This is going to be just a probably charmingly low-budget, fun movie that imitates either in its entirety or mostly another movie and just cashes in on the concept. And normally, with movies like this, and especially for this time period, you'd probably be right. But Thunder is a bit different for a couple of reasons. The first one is that they have changed it from simply being a Vietnam veteran. And don't get me wrong, First Blood, part of the reason that movie works so well is if you don't know how Vietnam veterans were treated in the United States, then do a little bit of reading on it because it is absolutely disgraceful. And so you automatically were on Stallone's side when that movie started, and you really understand why that character has hit his limit. In a similar way, they position the Mark Gregory character, Thunder, in this movie as a Native American veteran. And if you know any of that history, and if you don't, you should read about this, it is as disgusting as the way that the Vietnam veterans were treated. In fact, in many ways worse, because it goes so far back. And so again, you are automatically on the side of this character. A character who really tries to do everything as legally and patiently and fairly as possible, and is basically spit upon at every turn, to the point where you would expect this character to then go on a massacre fest, and he doesn't. So that character by himself is interesting and different and has a weight automatically. The movie is shot in Monument Valley in Utah, so it is absolutely gorgeous. It's not just shot in the woods. It's not shot on some kind of cheap stages or sets that are built out in the middle of nowhere. They really took advantage of shooting on location in a beautiful area, and so the movie looks fantastic. Now, unfortunately, there's no really good prints of it, but even in the degraded quality, the DVD or VHS qualities you'll find, it's still a gorgeous looking movie, and you can see how they took advantage of where they were. So there again, where in most of these movies, you would expect them to be pretty shoddy looking, this movie is not. And they also just do a lot of things with the characters. Not every character. Certain characters are exactly what you would expect. They're either good or evil. But there's also characters with some nuance, like the sheriff character played by Bo Svensson, who never really comes off as black or white. He's never good. He's never evil. He's kind of realistic in his, well, I'm just going to make sure I come out okay in this whole thing type of thing. So sometimes he acts in a way that you hate him, and other times he does things where you think, oh, okay, well, he's not just an evil guy who hates Thunder and just wants to see him dead. So all these things add up to a movie that is far better than what you would expect if somebody just said to you, oh, it's a 1983 ripoff of First Blood. You would think that many movies that are like this, when you watch them, they're fun and they're charming. They look like they were made for $50. You have a good time with them, but ultimately they don't really stick with you. Thunder is different. Thunder feels like it is better than that. It feels much better than it really seems to have any right to be. And that's what makes it really worth watching, especially because you can watch it either on Tubi for free or on YouTube. Neither of those, unfortunately, are in really good quality. This is begging for some kind of remaster. But even so, even in the quality that you can find them in, it is still worth watching this movie. Now, I haven't watched the sequels yet, but I probably will based on this one. But I have seen that the movies are actually all good. So we may end up doing all 3 films. We'll see. But I'm really, really happy I got to watch this. I'm really glad Len suggested it because I would probably have watched it at some point, but not nearly as quickly as I ended up doing it because he wanted to do this episode on it. So I was really, really thrilled to do it. I think it's a movie that's worth watching. Go watch the YouTube video over on Len's channel. Support him there because he brings movies like this, at least to my attention, and then I can bring it to you. So 1983's Thunder, well worth watching. Later.